Okay, so it's time to make our loaf. When I measure the ingredients, I use my food scale and I measure in grams and I do it exact to my recipe. I don't use cups or teaspoons or anything like that. Keep it at grams, easiest way to do it. The recipe that I'm going to show you is for the one loaf sourdough. So we're going to measure out 125 grams of starter. Everybody's recipe is different. This is just what I use. This is what I've been using, and that's worked out great for me. So that's what we do. Once I find something that works, I do not change it. I'm very, call me weird or whatever, but that's just how I am. Okay. And then you're going to need 375 grams of water. I've already pre-measured my stuff out. So we'll go a little bit quicker. So 375 of water. Go ahead and mix it up just a little bit. I use my mixer because I just find it easier. And then I'm going to add 10 grams of salt and give it a little bit of a mix. I've heard people use sea salt. I use regular salt and haven't had any issues with my recipes. So that's just me. Okay, once we've done that, then we are going to add our flour. You need a 500 grams of, I use the bread flour. I use the Arthur brand, the King Arthur, same brand that I use to work my starter. I don't change it when something's good. We just keep it the same. And then I will use my bread hook attachment, keep it the same. And we are going to mix it all together for about 5-6 minutes or so till it's really well mixed. Um, yeah, so let's get that mixed up and I will show you what it looks like. Okay, this is what it looks like. I'm going to pry everything off. It is sticky. That's totally fine. I'm going to use my little scraper that I have. I will scrape everything down off the sides and everything and just make sure it's like well mixed. I will switch the bowl because I don't like making sure everything's done in this bowl because I'm weird. So scrape the bowl clean, get all the flour and everything else off of it. And I would wet your hands so the dough doesn't stick too much to your hands. And just make sure everything's mixed in really well. That there's no flour chunks or anything like that. So once that's done, we will let it sit for 1 hour. And I like to use a shower curtain to cover it and let it sit. And I'll just leave it on the counter. Nothing too crazy. I try to keep things as simple as I can because I don't like anything too difficult. It stresses me out. So that's it. And we'll let it sit for 1 hour. And I will be. Okay, so it has been 1 hour. Now we are going to do a round of stretch and folds. So this is what it looks like. And then we're just going to reach down underneath it, stretch, and fold. Same with this side. Stretch and fold. Stretch and fold. So we'll do that and cover it again for another hour. So we'll continue to do the stretch and folds every hour until it has doubled in size. And once we get to that point, I'll be back. Okay, now we're gonna do our second stretch and fold. So I'm just gonna wet my hands. By wetting your hands, it just allows the dough not to stick to your fingers because it is sticky. Maybe it will stick a little bit, but not too much. All right. And then we will put the shower cap on and put it in one place, wait an hour, and do another stretch and fold. All right, we're going to do another stretch and fold. I'm going to wet my hands. Let's take this bad boy off. Ooh, look at that. Got bubbles and it's doubling. Nice. Probably maybe one more hour. And then it should be pretty good. Seeing all the bubbles and everything. Looks good. All right, we did that stretch and fold. Just gonna cover it, let it sit for another hour, and go from there. All right, and we're gonna this is what it looks like. You can see all the little air pockets, which is fantastic. So we already did all of our stretch and folds. It's doubled. Still needs a little time, so I'll just leave it in the fridge longer. It'll still do what it needs to do. I'm gonna lightly surface. Oh, put some flour on my surface. Got this little doohickey on Amazon. Amazing thing. Most amazing thing. And we're gonna let it fall out by itself. It's just gonna take a minute. Come on. It's getting there. There it goes. See? Came out pretty easy. Now this one is really sticky. So we're just gonna add a little more flour. Try to make it not so sticky. And we are going to spread them out as much as we can. I have small counter space, so can't spread it too much. So you're gonna fold it in the middle, fold this way, and then we are going to roll it just like this. And then I'm gonna put a little bit more flour because it's still super sticky. And then we're gonna do our candy cane motion like that. push and pull, push and pull. And you're going to get this nice little round ball. All right, now we are going to cover it for about 20 minutes. Just like that. I still use the same shower cap. You don't have to let it sit for the full 20 minutes. I usually do 10, 20, just depends on how it's looking really. And yeah, we'll do that, and then I'll show you what to do next. Okay, it's been about 15 minutes. Go ahead and take that off. We'll sprinkle with a little bit of flour. Just a little bit. And then we're going to grab it and flip it over. Gonna spread it out again. Try not to squish it all the way down and get all those air bubbles out. We don't want that. So stretch as good as we can. Still really sticky. So this kind of helps with that. Sprinkling a little bit of flour. All right. Same thing. We're just gonna fold and then fold in the middle. Fold it in half and then half again. And then we're gonna flop it upside down. And then same thing, candy cane motions. Let's tighten it up. You don't want to do it too tight where it starts tearing your dough, and not giving it the option as well to get those air bubbles. So we're going to let that sit for about 5 minutes. While we let it sit, we are going to flour our banneton. I just lightly flour that. Just like that. Fairly easy. Let it sit just for another minute or so. Okay, so we've let it sit for 5 minutes. Now we're gonna put it in our banneton. I just sprinkle a little bit of flour. You can use your little scraper and gently pick it up, put it inside. You want to put your top side down. So you got it in there, and then you can pull and pinch the sides in. Just like that, just to kind of tighten it up. And then just sprinkle it a little bit, just a tad, nothing too crazy. And then just put your shower cap over it, put it in the fridge, and in the morning we will bake it. You can bake it same day. I just started it too late, so if I would have started it early this morning, we could have baked it, but that didn't happen. With work and everything, it just didn't work out. So, like I said, put it in the fridge and we will bake it in the morning.
We will preheat our oven to 500 degrees with our Dutch oven inside. Once we do that, we will prep our sourdough to go in.
Okay, now we're going to lower our oven to 450. And we will remove our Dutch oven lid. I just leave it open to kind of let that heat out, get it drop down to 450, just like that. And then we will cook it for 30 minutes with the lid off. Set my timer. So when I remove my bread out of the oven, I'm not doing it just yet, but this is the wire rack that I use to put it on so it can cool down. You need to let it sit for about an hour before you cut into it. It gives it time to finish cooking and doing what it needs to do. This is a fruit bowl basket that I use that I got one Christmas. It's a set. So when I have two sourdoughs, it works out great. But it works out great for it to cool down and all of that. I let it cool off the parchment paper. I take everything off, put it on, and yeah, I'll show you that when it's ready to come out the oven. Okay, we can turn our oven off. It is ready to come out. Beautiful.